This is a massive deal for Intel. Why do this deal now?
Well, hey, Cory, if you take a look at the strategy, we think combining Intel and Mobileye allows us to have a singular platform end-to-end for our customers. But more importantly, if you take a look at where autonomous driving is going, the OEMs, the car manufacturers are today working on 2021 models. So you have to make a deal, you have to build your platform today in order to be there in 2021 when the models are really going to start hitting the road.
What has Intel's approach been to semiconductors within the car, and how might that change with Mobileye?
Well, we're already in a large number of the autonomous vehicles that are out there today. But what this does is really brings the best of both ends of the computing spectrum for driving together. So think about it this way. The car will have two brains. One is a vision brain that's going to take sensor fusion, the LiDAR, the radar, the cameras, and combine that and build a view of the world. And then there's another brain that Intel currently plays in, which is going to then take that information and basically drive the car. And this puts those two brains together into one company and allows us to provide an end-to-end platform for our partners.
Do you expect Intel's other businesses to benefit from this autonomous car world? You talked in an email to your employees about data, and how important this was in the world of data. You
bet. So, there's going to be several flows of data in and out of the car. And the first is simply the car seeing the world and adapting how it drives. And so that's what we call learning data. And there'll be a data center that's built by the car OEMs that's going to be driving that and developing their algorithms. There's another set of data that will come out of the car, that's the mapping data. And you saw our investment in HERE earlier this year that is really augmented towards building these precision maps that have a lot more information than the maps of today that you use. And then the third set is that these cars are going to be able to see the world as they drive around. And so there's going to be just visual data that's going to be gathered on people on the streets and cars that it's passing, and all that visual information is going to be gathered and used to build information models of what's going on.
I'm curious about the timing of this deal, not just because of as you talk about the lead time that automobiles require, but for Intel at this stage in its growth, and also where we are in sort of a global macro sense of technological change and spending. Do you feel like you had to get ahead of competitors who might have looked at Mobileye as a potential target?
You bet. So we knew that this was a hot space, that gathering up these technologies and really building this end-to-end platform was important. And then also, this deal, although large, is immediately accretive to our earnings per share and our free cash flow for the company. So it was a good deal from that perspective as well for Intel.
But it was really expensive. I mean, you paid $15 billion of what 14.7 enterprise value for a company with about $350 million in trailing revenues. That's a hefty price tag.
Sure, the market had already priced in a pretty good premium. So if you take a look compared to the price, it's about a 35% premium to its current market value. But yes, what you have to take a look at is it's growing at a very significant rate, and we think it'll be $1 billion plus business. But remember, for us, it's much further than that. So we're looking beyond just the revenue that Mobileye is going to grow into, which is significant and will be $1 billion plus. But we're allowed to tie this visual data into our data centers, into our whole artificial intelligence engine business that we're growing. And so this really actually completes this circle of capability that we think of when we look at how data is going to be used across the world.
I understand you're going to move a lot of your operations, some of the operations in automotive, to Israel. But what kind of cost savings do you expect to pull out of Mobileye as it runs now?
So we built about $175 million of synergies into this deal, which, as you said, is right. We're going to go and move our autonomous driving resources to Israel, where Mobileye is centered. And there's a lot of SG&A and some R&D that is overlapped between the two companies, and that'll bring those synergies to that $175 million over time.
There was a lot of options trading in the days before this deal was announced, and I should say purchase of calls, like expectations that the stock was going to go higher and really soon. And it seemed to be near record levels for Mobileye. Yes, there was some excitement about the stock, but nothing like this. And I wonder how long you've been working on this deal and if this concerns you at all.
So we've been working on this deal for a while, but we take a lot of care, both with our bankers that we work with and the PR teams, to really keep this quiet. And if you take a look, it's been pretty quiet from what we've seen relative to other deals that are out there. And so we were pretty comfortable with the level of secrecy we were able to keep the deal under until really like the last 12, 24 hours. And we took a look at what we were doing and what was going on in the market. It seemed like it was everything was pretty okay from that perspective.
Yeah. Lastly, we've expectations of changes in tax policy, repatriation, which can sometimes lead to a lot of M&A, could happen in technology. Is that one of the reasons that you wanted to get this deal done now, ahead of a time when other companies might have been able to repatriate and do more M&A and the price tags might go up?
No, we would never do M&A as a result of something like that. We're always going to target around technologies and doing the technologies at the right time relative to bringing those products to market. And that's purely what this was driven by. We started these discussions before the election to give you some clarity of just how long these take. And so that we had nothing to do with what the tax policies were. This was about getting these two technologies together to provide these solutions.